We are recording. Hello and welcome to my Saturday workout. I'm so excited. I've got a great workout planned for us. Make sure you have a circle band and a handled resistance band. You can also use dumbbells if you prefer. I will show you when and where to use them. I'm going to be teaching this workout right down the middle. If you want a harder workout, I want you to, oh yes, okay, Erin, I see you. Hold on one second. Okay, Erin, you can unmute yourself if you need to. So if you want a harder workout today, you are going to move faster, do more repetitions, challenge yourself with your resistance levels, and do a third superset. If you want an easier workout today, I want you to take breaks when you need to, move more slowly, do fewer repetitions, do fewer sets, do whatever you need to do. The name of the game, the rule here is that you work 20% harder than today's ability. Wherever you are today, if you're tired, you're going to work 20% harder. If you're super energized today, 20% harder. You need to challenge yourself in order to become stronger. You won't wake up one day and all of a sudden be fit. You have to expose your body to increasing levels of challenge. That's called progressive resistance and adaptation. So that as you expose yourself to harder things, your body adapts and gets better. But you have to make the choice to expose yourself to harder challenges. So that is your homework for today. I want you to challenge yourself today so that next week you are bigger, better, stronger, faster in all the best ways. Let's jump in. So let's take your feet separated, and I want you to take a big inhale up, really reaching up for the ceiling. Exhale it out. Let's do two more just like that. Big inhale up, really stretch up super, super high. Exhale one more time, bringing in that big life-affirming breath, and exhale it out. Left hand up over your head, right hand on your thigh. I want you to lengthen up to the sky. Conscientiously lengthen the space between your rib cage and your hip bone. Lengthening up, take a slight lean over. And now I want you to slightly turn and look under that left arm, opening up into the hip flexor, lengthening out through the side of the torso. Big stretch, relax down, same on that right arm. Right arm comes up, reach for the sky, take a slight lean over using that left hand for support, and then just look slightly under that left arm. There we go, perfect. Hold on, just want to get my camera set. And relax it down. So from here, I want you to, let's come into our side twist, keeping your feet separated. Your goal is to imagine that you are trying to look all the way behind you while you simultaneously anchor down on your pelvis. So extending out that leg, activating through your glute. You're activating the glute on the leg that you're turning away from. So left glute here, right glute here. Left glute there, right glute there. Just letting your arms swing around you, relaxing it out, increasing your range of motion, releasing some tension through the spine and the hips. And one more. And relax it out. Take those feet a little bit wider, feet parallel, coming into that side lunge, sitting deeply, using your hands for a little bit of support. Every now and then, I want you to take a look down. Make sure that your feet are staying parallel to each other. Toes and feet are fully parallel. And if they start to migrate open, I want you to bring them back so that your feet are really, truly parallel. Sit a bit deeper. Put all of your focus and your effort into the heel that you're pressing off of. And if this is comfortable, I want you to sit a little bit deeper. Coming down to sweep across the floor. Really sitting deeply into the leg that you're bending into. The goal here is to sit deeply, bending into that leg so that we can activate the glutes, the hamstrings, the quadriceps, the whole posterior chain, and simultaneously get a dynamic stretch through the straight leg. Left leg stretch, right leg stretch. Sinking into the hips, sitting deeply, Let's do 2 more and relax. Step together, and I want you to reach way up out of your waist, super high to the sky, come back into a lunge, reach, step on the other leg. So you're gonna alternate here, stepping back into a bit of a modified lunge using your hands on the front legs for support. Front leg is in charge. Big reach back. As this feels stable, comfortable, easy, and doable, I want you to make it bigger. I want you to reach and come all the way down into a deep lunge. Big reach, deep lunge. You can move faster, you can move slower. I want you to focus on pressing into your front heel, driving into the glute on that front leg, reaching up super tall. Make this move as big as you can. Make it really big, all the way up, reaching high and then stepping back for a really great deep lunge. 2 more, 1 more. Now come back and stay in your lunge. Stay in your lunge, back knee is on the ground, sweep up, turn towards your leg that's in front, hand back to the heel, pause for the stretch. Inhale up, step forward, other leg back. Sweep up, turn towards the leg that's in front. So if you're mirroring me, you are turning to your left. Pause for that stretch. Inhale, let's repeat. Step forward, step back, sweep forward, turn towards the leg in front. Back hand to the heel. Pause and enjoy. Inhale up, step forward, step back, sweep up, turn towards the leg in front, squeeze the glute of the leg that's in back, and continue. We're gonna do a couple more here. Such a valuable, powerful stretch here. Gets everything opened and activated so you're a bit more protected for the workout. Turn and stretch, last one. And hands forward, step forward into your crouched position. Bring your feet together. And I want you to just rock back and forth, bringing some mobility and flexibility. Oh, I love it, Erin, you're on my screen. That's awesome. So good. I don't know how you ended up as my main person on my screen, but there you are. Did you do that on purpose? I love it. It's perfect. Okay, guys, rocking back and forth, bringing mobility and flexibility to the forefeet. If it's a little uncomfortable on your toes, that's what we want. If this is uncomfortable on your toes, you need to be doing this every single day. If this is easy on your toes, please come into a full kneeling position, sitting onto your feet, bringing more pressure, more mobility, more range of motion onto the forefeet and the toes. Okay, ultimately, I want everybody to be able to be here and sit here for a couple of minutes. So good for foot health, ankle health, and lower leg. So good. But for now, for those of you that are tortured, come on back into your crouched position, and I want you to stand up, lift your knees 10 times. We're gonna get into our workout. Please make sure you're lifting your knees. I don't want you to get dizzy. I don't want you to pass out on me. Okay, today's workout, we're using a circle band and a handled band. You can also opt for dumbbells on some of these exercises. First superset, grab your circle band. Let's go ahead and get into the circle band as I demonstrate the 2 exercises for you. So step in, place your band near your knee, stretch your band, step in, place it just above your knees, okay? It can be higher or it can be lower, just don't put it right on your knee joint. You want it slightly above or slightly below. Let me show you our first 2 exercises for the superset. First exercise, feet together, partial squat, lateral band steps for our first exercise. 15 in one direction, 15 in the other direction. Second exercise, if you need to use something to stabilize you, use it in front of you, stand up super tall, glute kickback with a pause on the back end. If your band is too easy, slide it below your knees. 15 repetitions on each leg, each side. Let's get started. Feet together. Let's sit deeply. I want you to give me a little bit of an arch in your lower back. Booty pop it back, ladies. Stick your glutes back, chest is up. Sit deeply, lead with your heel. Big steps. Step with your whole leg. I am going to travel around because I really want to do this exercise with you guys today. So I may or may not be on camera. I'm probably on camera over here by the pool, but I want you to make sure that you're doing 15 in this direction, probably going to your right, doesn't matter. You got 15 steps, stepping with that whole leg. And then let's immediately reverse. Same thing in the other direction. You can take a break before you switch sides if you want, but I prefer that you just keep that whole set moving. Stepping out, step with that whole leg, big leg out. In your mind, think about that glute and the hip activating this motion so that it's those glutes really powering the exercise. Glute kickbacks, feet together, knees slightly bent. Use something for balance if you need to. Kick and pause, please count 15. Giving me a really strong contraction on the back end here. Remember, there really is a very powerful mind-muscle connection. It's a real thing. That's just not a fancy name that the industry made up. It's true. So you want to be thinking about what you're doing here. You want to be thinking about activating the muscle that you're focusing on, particularly the glute, because you know me and you know your glutes are the most important muscle group in your entire body, hands down. Anyone in the fitness industry will agree with that. Some people might say the core is more important, but I would argue that and win that debate. So I want you to really, really mentally think about using the muscle we're focusing on, which is the glute for this exercise. One or two more, make sure you're counting 15 each side. You can move faster or slower than me, whichever works for you. I like to keep my pace right down the middle. We've got some people in this group that are in fabulous shape, and we've got some people that are newer in their journey. And I want to make sure that everybody feels at home here, enjoys this workout, and gets the right workout for your body. Make sure you're giving me a really good pause right there. Squeeze that booty, squeeze it. Think about it. Really use your mind, and in your mind's eye, see that muscle. Even though you can't turn around and look at it, in your mind's eye, see that muscle, really activate it. Put all of your focus and attention onto getting a good contraction. Pausing on the back end because that really helps to improve what's called time under tension. And when we're using a band, it just really helps to improve the stimulus on the muscle so that you get a better workout. Two more here. We're going to take a short break. 20 to 30 seconds, and then we will do a second superset. Those of you doing 3 supersets, keep on moving. If you want a bigger workout today, don't take any breaks. Just go boom, boom, and through all of the exercises. That's going to give you a little bit more of a cardiovascular toning effect, which is great, even though this is a strength training workout. And take breaks whenever you need to. If you need to take a break in between every single set, that's awesome. This is your journey. It's your body. This is your fitness. Do what you need to do, ensuring that you're challenging yourself 20% today. And that can mean working faster, working harder, or using more resistance. So on that last superset that we just did, evaluate how was your effort level. If it was easy, move your band to mid shin. If it was easy, get a heavier band. If it was hard, you can think about taking the band off and just doing this with your body weight. Okay, let's go. Second set. Feet together, sit deeply, booty back. Use your hands wherever it works for you. You can put them on your thighs. You can put them in front of you, whatever works for you. Sit deeply, lead with your heel, 15 steps. Lead with the heel, keeping your feet parallel to each other, stepping with the whole leg. Step with the whole leg. Think about your upper thigh generating the movement to take you in the direction that we're going. Okay? You're not stepping with your lower leg, foot, or ankle. You're stepping with your upper thigh. And immediately reverse direction when you hit 15. So this motion is created largely because of glute medius. It's one particular muscle of the glute muscles, but it's one that we're really, really focusing on here. So the motion is actually happening from the hip. We're focusing on a muscle that's in the hip, but if you think about stepping with your thigh, it will properly activate the muscle that we're going for. And let's go into that glute kickback. Feet together, knees bent, kicking straight back, making sure you give yourself that big contraction and a pause, driving back through your heel. Really drive that heel back. Keep your abdomen braced. So if I was standing in front of you right now and I was gonna punch you in the tummy, if I came up and I punched you in the tummy like that, what would you do? You'd go, whoo, right? You would brace down. That's what bracing is on the core. It's activating all of the muscles of the core. It's not sucking inward. It's not pushing outward, right? It's not rounding your lumbar spine. It's bracing downward and pulling all of those muscles into contraction. 15 here, driving through that heel. Abs nice and braced and contracted. And other side. Keeping a slight bend in the leg that you're standing on. So take a look down. The leg that's supporting you, that knee should be slightly bent. There is a time and a place to lock the knee joint, to fully open the leg. But whenever we're supporting like this, whenever there's dynamic movement, you really want that knee slightly bent. Now, listen, I know for some of you that's going to be hard because it was hard for me all through my 20s. I had to train myself to do it. But the reason why you're keeping this both knees, but the standing knee slightly bent is so that you activate and use your hamstrings, not just the quadriceps. It's more appropriate to how you move naturally. 2 more here. Those of you guys doing 3 supersets, get on it, my friend. And we're going to take a short break. You can go ahead and take your circle band off. And now we're going to grab either a handled resistance band or dumbbells. Let me show you the 2 exercises, and I will tell you exactly how to do this with dumbbells if you prefer. Pros and cons to dumbbells and bands. I love them both, but today I decided to have this be a band only workout. First 2 exercises. You are going to, I should say next 2 exercises. First exercise, you're going to step on your band. You're going to cross your handles, upright row. If you're using dumbbells, it's the same motion, but your hands are going to go from thighs to shoulders, thighs to shoulders. So in an upright row, your hand is actually just sliding directly upward. It's not going narrow, wide. Straight down, straight up. Ending with your elbows a little on the high side if you can, but it's okay if your elbows are low in alignment with your shoulders. That's fine. First exercise. Second exercise is a single leg deadlift. You can do this with a dumbbell, barbell, band, or body weight. Let me show you all those options. First variation would be just doing it body weight only. You can even tap on something for balance. Next variation, dumbbell in the opposite hand to the leg that's working, dumbbell. I'm going to demonstrate with a band. So you're going to step on your band. Let me show you from the front. Stepping on your band, choking up. Single leg deadlift with a band is here to here. Let's get started. First exercise is upright row. Step in the center of your band. Cross your handles. Knee soft. Pull. You can give me a little bit of a pause at the top if you want. If this is challenging, do more or less. Do whatever feels right for you. So if this is hard, maybe you only do 10 repetitions. If this is easy, do 20 repetitions or switch to a dumbbell and go to a heavier dumbbell if you can. Make sure that you're keeping your neck long, shoulders away from your ears. Release the shoulder girdle towards your hips on every single exercise that we do forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. If you leave me with only one thing, I want you to remember shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down. It will change your life. One more and relax. Let's go to that single leg deadlift. If you've got a full home gym and you want to use a barbell here, it's a great option. Make sure that you're fully on your band if you're doing this version. You're standing on the band with your right leg. You're holding the band with your left hand. On the right leg, holding left hand, whether you've got a dumbbell or a band. Let's go. Tapping at the top for balance. And if balance is really hard for you here, you can use something in that opposite hand to stabilize you. You can absolutely use something to support your balance. And the truth is, over time, I do want you to learn to do this without having to stabilize yourself for balance. So if you're right now, if you're stabilizing yourself and you need to hold a chair for balance, that's okay. But promise me over the coming months, you will learn to do this without having to stabilize yourself. That's part of the value of this exercise, is learning single leg balance. I promise it will serve you for the rest of your life in so many ways. 15 here. And we're just going to do one side per set. One more, we're going to take a break. Then as we go into our second set, we will do our single leg deadlift on the other leg. Those of you guys doing 3 supersets, you're going to do 15 on one leg and 15 on the other leg for that last set. Or you can split it up and do 8 and 8, however you want to do it, okay? Short little break for those of us doing 2 supersets. And we're going to repeat upright row, single leg deadlift on that left leg. If your upright row is easy or hard, you can swap out your apparatus to work harder on the second set. Grab dumbbells, grab a heavier or lighter band based on what you need. Let's go. Stepping into that band, crossing the handles, knees soft, big row, 15 reps, keeping those abs braced. And even though you're pulling your arms upward, you still release the shoulder girdle to the hips, all right? It's a skill that takes some time to learn because it's so common to lift the whole shoulder girdle upward here because you're lifting upward. And that is ultimately what the trapezius, the traps do, but we're trying to really soften and minimize the effort of the traps to put the work on your deltoids, which are actually the main muscle of the shoulder. 2 more here. Big lift. 1 more. Going into that second set, single leg deadlift. If you're doing it with me with a band, you are going to stand on your left leg, hold the band in your right hand. Make sure that you are choking up on that band and that you're fully standing on the band. Rotate, really squeeze the glutes at the top. Big squeeze at the top here, 15 repetitions. So part of the goal is to keep your pelvis parallel to the ground. So if you could imagine your 2 hip bones, front of your body, you want those hip bones to stay parallel to each other. There's a real tendency to let that swinging leg hip raise up into space. So you really want to keep, if you're mirroring me here, you want to keep your right hip releasing down to the ground as much as you possibly can. Release that hip down to the ground and then really squeeze and contract the glute at the top here so that you're finishing the move and fully opening the hip here. I call it locking the hip open here by squeezing the glute. 15, 2 more-ish, depending on where you are, and short break, or keep on going into that third superset. Let me show you the next 2 exercises for the next superset. Band or dumbbell squat. Let me demonstrate with a band. If you're using dumbbells, you will hold them here in front of the shoulders, in front of your body. For band squat, you're gonna step in and then you're going to stretch the band between your feet and then release to make sure the handles come up to the same height on your legs to make sure that you've got the same amount of tension on both sides of the band. Bring the handles back behind you, stand super tall, toes are turned to open slightly, and you're gonna sit straight down, squeeze your glutes to finish the move at the top. That's your first exercise, band squat. Second exercise, single arm row. You can literally just step back onto one leg. Let me show you the other side so that you can see my camera side. Hold on. Leave one foot in the band and just stepping back into single arm row with a pause here. Give me a good pause at full contraction. 15 repetitions, both exercises. Let's go. Step into your band. Now, if you're using dumbbells, both of these exercises are great with dumbbells. You would hold your dumbbells exactly where I'm holding the handles of my band. Toes are turned open. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Try to keep your chest as lifted as possible at the top of this exercise. Really keep your chest lifted. Here at the bottom as well. Reaching your hips back. We're not bending over. It's as if there's a chair behind you and you're reaching your hips backward to reach and sit into a chair that's just kind of far behind you. It's just a little too far away. And so you have to really reach those hips back to sit into the chair. And then you finish off the move by squeezing your glutes, bringing those hips fully forward. 2 more. Going into single arm row next. So you can leave your band under one foot and just step back. Make sure you're fully standing on your band. Don't put your band under the arch of your shoe. Put it under your forefoot so that you can really put pressure into that forefoot here. If it's under your arch, it's gonna slip out. Always putting the band under the ball or the forefoot and then pushing into that through the ball, not the toes. Slight pause on the back end here, really bringing the shoulders towards each other. So if you're mirroring me, you're pulling with your right hand. So imagine that your right shoulder is pulling inward towards your spine to match the other shoulder. So always bringing those shoulder blades towards each other, giving me a good pause on that back end. 3 more. Using your front hand for a little bit of support, keeping your abs braced. And short break. If that first squat was too easy, get a heavier band or swap to dumbbells. If that first squat was hard, consider getting rid of your apparatus and just doing body weight only. But when we come over for the other set of single arm row, I want you to use the same resistance that you did on your first set so that you're balanced left to right. Short little break, second set of squats. I don't know why I love squats with a band. I don't love squats with a bar or dumbbells, but for some reason, absolutely love squats with a band. Okay, stretch that band between your feet. Check the distance of the handle so that you've got equal resistance on both sides of your band. Toes are open, band back behind you, using your arms to press that band backwards, knees soft. Here we go, second set. Finishing at the top to really squeeze the glutes, open the hips, get your glutes under you. Remember, I want you to challenge yourself 20% today. So does that mean that you need to work harder? Does that mean you need to work easier today? Because it's only 20%. I don't want you challenging yourself 50% or 100%. That's not how we play in my gang. It's really not accurate, in all honesty. That idea of going all out and giving it 100% in your workout, if you're in your 20s, maybe, but even then, I'm not so sure it's accurate advice. The goal is about 20%. That's all you need to stimulate a response so that you become better. Squeeze your glutes at the top, chest stays up. Couple more. And let's go into that second set, single arm row. Adjusting your band so that you've got the right resistance under the ball of the foot. Big step back, pause on the back end, big pull, single arm row. One of my favorite exercises. Really pay attention to what your shoulder is doing here. Super important that you're not pulling your shoulder up towards your ear. That's a very common mistake, is that part of it is because the traps just tend to take over, and keeping your shoulder pressing down towards the hip helps to activate the muscles behind the shoulder blade and below, which is what we want to be activating so that you're better throughout the day. In general, no matter what you're doing all day long, we don't want your shoulders scrunching upward, right? Ever, while you're driving, while you're cooking, while you're talking on the phone. Always release your shoulders down and back in space. Two more here. Short break, unless you're doing 3 sets. Keep on moving. Let me show you our next superset. This is a little different than last week. You're going to use your band with the handles, but what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the band around your hands and then clamp down on your band. You want a bit of tension here with your arms extended and hands are a bit wider than your shoulders. From here, shoulders down and back, and then we're going to pull the band apart so that the band comes right in alignment with your chest. The band is not up here, it's not in front of your face, it's right in alignment with your bust line. The reason for that is it puts your shoulders into the perfect place to focus on that posterior delt. First exercise. Second exercise, you know, my beloved, lay the band in front of you, step onto it, bring it behind you, hold the handle with both hands, tricep extension up over the head. You could also do this with a dumbbell. Let's go. Take your band, wrap it around, clamp down with your thumbs. Make sure you've got a little bit of slack here, shoulders down and back, pull the band apart. It's called pull aparts. Well, some people call these band pull aparts. Technically it's shoulder abduction, but I think it's probably easier to remember band pull aparts, right? That makes a whole lot more sense to remember the name. And this exercise is harder than it looks. This addresses the posterior deltoid. It's a smaller muscle in the back of the shoulder. This exercise will keep your shoulders healthy, provided that band is coming across the middle of your chest. It could be lower, but I don't want it above your chest, because if it's above your chest, that means you're going to be using more of the traps, when really we want you using the back of the shoulder. Second exercise, tricep extension. So lay the band in front of you, right? Follow along with me here, step on it so that that band is trailing behind you. Then bring it up back behind me, soft. Elbows stay next to your head. If they're in front of your head a little, that's okay, totally okay, but we don't want your elbows moving too much. Really lengthen and press your hands up as high as you can. Such an incredible exercise for the back of the arms, the triceps, which a lot of us struggle to keep firm. And that's an area where it's like, when that's jiggly, I just don't think anybody likes that. And PS, we all deal with it. So even during times when I was super fit, I would always have a little bit of jiggle in the back of the triceps. Most people do. So This exercise is great to strengthen the tricep, but also just to improve your pushing function in general. Make sure you're bracing your abs and breathing, pressing those hands super long and high up over you. 15, and let's take a short break. We'll repeat these two exercises one more time. So this is a superset where you could change out your band or your dumbbell for both exercises. So if that first set was easy, get a heavier band. If that first set was hard, get a lighter band or heavier or lighter dumbbell. Short break, and we will do our second set of pull aparts. It's getting hot in here, so I gotta take off my jacket, but this is risky business here because I might lose my earbuds. So bear with me, guys. We're getting ready for that second set. If you wanna get started, I did it. We're gonna do those band pull aparts. Guys, ready? Wrap the band, but do give yourself a little bit of slack here, okay? Knees soft, pressing straight out. Ooh, ooh, does that not feel so good or what? Oh, it's so good. Back of the shoulders right there. When you get into full contraction right there and you really press that chest forward, squeezing the back of the shoulders so that your hands are alongside of you or maybe even slightly behind you. Press your chest forward. You really should feel this in the back of the shoulders, but low on your shoulder, right about there. You're not feeling it up here in your traps. You're feeling it down here. And by moving that band down in space here, that's how you activate that posterior shoulder muscle. And it's really a collection of muscles, but we're focusing on posterior deltoid. You are getting other muscles as we hit this. You're even getting some triceps. That's why this is like the awesome tricep superset here, because you're getting triceps here. And let's go ahead and do that tricep exercise, hitting the triceps more directly. If you're using a dumbbell, it's the same exact motion with the dumbbell. You're just holding your dumbbell end to end over your head and lowering the dumbbell back towards your shoulder blades. Both are great here. They're just different. Same movement. Be sure you're keeping your shoulder girdle released. Try it right now, okay? At the bottom, really drop into your shoulders towards your hips. Notice what that does to your triceps. When you drop your shoulder blades down, the triceps fire more. And that's because your triceps insert above the shoulder joint. So when you release your shoulders down and you activate the triceps, you get better tricep contraction. Another reason why I'm such a huge fan of shoulders back and down, okay? Short break or go on for your third superset. Last superset. Superset number 5 today. You need your circle band again. And let me demonstrate. We're doing a glute bridge and push-ups. Please make sure you listen up for my instruction on push-ups because yes, like several of my exercises, I am very particular about how you perform your push-ups. I will move my camera in a moment so you can see me better. But what you're gonna do is put your band on, bring it around your knee, okay? And first exercise, we've got glute bridges. Elbows are bent, pushing into the ground. Let me move my camera now so you can see me better. Hold on. Okay. And we are back. Sorry about that. I double tapped my AirPods and sometimes then Siri shows up for service when I don't need her. Elbows bent, pressing into the ground. Heels are gonna come forward so that your fingertips can touch your heels. Then lift both legs away, open your toes, elbows bent, pressing up for a pause. At the top of the motion here, I want you to give me a bit of a tuck under on your pelvis. So it's not lifting just to here, you're tucking your pelvis under at the top. You don't even have to come super high. If you really get that tuck driving into the heels, you can leave your band on. We're gonna flip over for push-ups. Now, listen up. Depending on your skill level with push-ups, if you have a really good push-up, go for it. But please make sure you've got perfect technique. Otherwise, it's just not worth it to do a proper military push-up. It's just not worth it. In my experience of now 30 years of training people, I think I've met 5 people in my entire life that can actually do a push-up properly, men and women. Even most men don't do them right. So here's how I teach push-ups. Come all the way down. You can leave your band on, knees together, knees bent, feet towards your butt. Hands are outside your chest line. You lift away from the floor before you push up. Lower all the way down. Lift away, push up. The reason for that is it protects your shoulders and your elbows. You can do what you want. You are your own self, but don't come crying to me if you injure your shoulders, because I'm giving you the recipe to protect your shoulders. Okay, glute bridge. Here we go. On your back, bring your heels forward so that your fingertips can touch your heels to set you up. Then you just lift and move them away, maybe 4 inches. Elbows bent. Here we go. Press up, squeeze. You got 15 reps. Put all of your effort into your heels. And I want you to think about stretching your band wide. Stretch that band wide, stretch it out. Really stretch it out here, especially at the top. Even if you're doing this without a band, I want you to press your knees outward right here. Press your knees outward. That is what activates the glutes the way that we want them to be activated. Oh, on that note, if you guys missed it, the Glutes Project is now open for the fall session. If you want to join us for a glute-focused strength training program, we are in the fall session, so I'm going to be teaching live workouts. You'll be able to do the program with me during the week. Please ping me if you want information, holly@hollyperkins.com. And we've got a live workout coming this week, so you can work out with me twice every week live, maybe more. I might even start adding more. Okay, one more here, and let's roll over into those push-ups. You can just leave your band on, come on over, come down to your belly, bend your knees, heel to butt, hands outside your chest, press away from the floor first, then lift up into your push-up, all the way back down. Press away, lift up, back down, press away, lift up. Try it with me, try it my way. It's amazing how much more activation you get in your chest and your arms. It ends up making this exercise so much more effective when you do it this way. Oh, and by the way, yes, you will start to slide around on your knees. That's why you'll see me kind of reposition at the top, because you will, most of the time, start to slide away from your hands just a little bit. So all you have to do is reset. Pushing away from the ground before you push up, and then all the way down to reset. Let's do one more, or wherever you are, for your 15. And then we're going to take a short break. You can rest laying on the ground if you want, or I suggest you come to sit back onto your feet. If this is easy for you, that's great. This could actually be uncomfortable for you. If this is uncomfortable for you, I want you to spend a minute here. Being able to sit in this posture is so important for knee health, ankle health. It provides a little bit of a stretch through the quadriceps. And if this is easy for you, I want you to tuck your pelvis under slightly, really lean back and sit heavy into your heels, pointing through the toes, to just rest here for a moment. If it's super easy, you could come up and do some kind of a stretch, do something with your upper body, whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to do our second set. Coming back to glute bridge. If that first set was easy, you can scoot your band down so that it's just a hair, just literally right on top of that knee joint. Probably not a good idea to have it directly on the knee, but for this exercise, you could get away with it, or get yourself a heavier band. So lay back, fingertips on the ground, pull your heels forward, then move them away. That's just a way to keep them a bit more aligned in sort of a systemic way. Elbows bent, here we go, driving into those heels. Do make sure that your toes are turned to open slightly. Stretching your band, really stretch the band out so that your knees are moving away from each other, tucking the pelvis at the top. You might find a value in pressing your hips a little on the high side. And you might find value in keeping your hips a little low. The goal is to come into the position where you really feel the majority of pressure and effort on your glutes. You're going to feel some of it on your hamstrings until your glutes are up to speed. You might also feel it a little bit in your lower back until your glutes are up to speed. Once your glutes are fully functional, you will only feel this exercise in the glutes. You won't feel anything in your back or in your hamstrings. So if you are feeling it in your back and your hamstrings, that is a cue that you need to strengthen your glutes. Super, super important. One more. And relax. Let's go for that second set of push-ups. Oh, my glutes are on fire. Oh, it's so good. The best feeling in the world, right? Hands outside your chest line. Press away so that your shoulders come upward slightly. Then you lift up. 15, more or less, depending on your fitness level today and what feels good for your body, your energy, and your muscles today. 10 to 15, you could do more. And again, listen, if you have a really good full-length military push-up, that's okay. It's okay if you've got great technique. I just really want you to promise me that you've got good technique, because I can't tell you how many shoulder injuries I've seen from people doing full push-ups, myself included. I blew out my left shoulder probably 15 years ago, and my left shoulder has never been the same because I blew it out doing push-ups when I thought that I was all badass doing push-ups at the gym, when I did not have proper technique. And I don't think I've really done push-ups ever since as part of my own training protocol. We do them here because we're doing home workouts and we're limited in terms of what we can do for chest exercises. So as long as there's a modification, I'm a fan. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that circle band. Let's stay on the ground. We're going to do a couple stretches. For those of you guys that want to wrap up your workout, I will send you off. And for those of you guys that want to stick around for some walking lunges, please do. Bring your feet together, soles of the feet together. And just for an assessment, it's a good idea to just kind of take a look down and notice if one leg is farther, one knee is farther off the ground than the other. Whoa, we're having troubles here today, people. Oh my gosh. Be aware if one knee is farther off the ground than the other. It just gives you a cue in terms of your hip balance and hip mobility. Just bring it forward and relax into it, releasing and just letting your knees relax. And so you may, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but every now and then, depending on how tight my left hip is, this knee will be higher off the ground. And that's because I didn't do enough stretching this past week. So I know this leg is a little bit tighter, but it's just always really good to just kind of be aware of your body positioning and to know if one hip is a bit asymmetric as compared to the other, because that's where you want to focus your attention in getting your body back into balance. Super gentle stretch. And come on up, just send one foot forward, reach up out of your waist super long, and then just come forward. Every single person I've ever worked with has a different expression of this stretch. You might not even be able to lean forward. You might be able to lay down on your leg. Doesn't matter where you are. I want you to just come forward until you feel a stretch anywhere in your body. So today I'm actually feeling a lot more in my hip because this hip is a little wonky this week. You might be feeling this in the back of the straight leg. You might be feeling it in the calf of the straight leg behind the knee. Doesn't matter. Just come into a comfortable position where you can relax into it, letting the stretch happen somewhat naturally, melting into your stretch. Stretches should never be uncomfortable. They should never be grimace causing. They should never be painful. You should be able to melt into it. It should feel good. It should be easy. Come up, foot in, other foot out. Stretch tall and stretch out for that leg. So if you want to stick around, I'm going to be taking questions and comments. If you have any questions about today's workout or your own fitness in general, happy to answer. And if you're new here, we are doing our walking lunge mini workshop, which we've been doing after the workout. The goal is to build up your own body weight endurance walking lunge. This is a muscular endurance series and exercise to improve the functionality of your body. This isn't really about strength building. This is more about bringing your body to full function, improving your mobility or flexibility and your muscular endurance. You're going to start with 2 sets of 20 steps, and each week you add 10 more steps. So this week, there's going to be some women doing 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, all the way up to almost 300 here. I think some of you might be doing more than 300. On that note, those of you guys that are upwards doing a lot of walking lunges, if you're up at like 200 or 300 per set, why don't you start watching your time and start doing it for 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. Start doing it by time. Okay, so if you want to stick around, please join me. If you're done for today, happy Halloween. Please be safe. Happy Saturday. I hope you have the best fall weekend ever. Welcome November tomorrow. Can you believe it? It's holiday season already. And as you come up off the ground, please make sure that you're lifting your knees up a bunch of times so you don't get dizzy. And I'm going to set up some space here to do my walking lunges. Walking lunge workshop. Doesn't matter where you are, okay? You are going to do what's right for your body and where your current fitness level is. If you're new to this game, I encourage you to consider starting with 20 repetitions. And so what that means is you're going to do 20 steps in total. You're going to go left, right, left, right, left, right for 20 steps. Let me see if I can get set up in a place where you'll be able to see me a little bit farther. Let's go like that. Okay, so walking lunges go like this. You're going to start with your feet together, knees bent. Take a big step out. You're going to focus on the front leg. So I'm going to step out on this leg. When I step forward, I squeeze that glute. Front leg, that glute. Front leg, that glute. Each step is 1 rep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, counting for 20, short break. Then you'll do another set. If you're at 30 or 40 or 50, wherever you are, I've been anywhere between 60 and 80 lately, just kind of holding in a maintenance for now, but really wherever you are is where you are, and just focus on, for you, what is ever good for you today. Feet together, big step out, and step together, there's 1. Please count out your own repetitions. I'll be sharing my repetitions with you. That's just because I want to demonstrate the pace that I go when I do these, because the point of this body weight extended walking lunges is to actually do them a little slow so that your body is recovering from rep to rep. So if you do them faster, your body is not going to be able to fully recover during rep to rep to rep. But if you go a little slower, what happens is your body's mechanism of energy production is able to access oxygen and regenerate. That's partially how we're able to do these in an extended fashion. So you'll notice I go kind of slow. I could do this all day long if I wanted to, because in between repetitions, my body is able to keep up the turnover of oxygen and need for fuel in the muscle so that we don't build up lactic acid. Okay, so use your breath, focus onto that front heel. And I'm probably going to do about 60 today. I haven't been counting. I'll count on my next stretch here, but I think I'm probably doing, I don't know, maybe 20 per length, going the length of the pool here, and I'm probably getting in 20 steps. When you hit your number, whatever your number is for today, take a break for a minute or 2, and then you're going to do a second set. Okay, here's 1. Maybe there's not 20 here. 2, let's call it maybe 10. Nope, I don't know. We'll see. Here's 3. Driving into your front heel. 4. This is my favorite part of the workout, by the way. 5. For those of you guys that don't love walking lunges, 6. They get easier and better. You'll fall in love with them, I promise. Here's 8. Who was thinking there was 20 steps in this length? Here's 9, so I'm getting about 12 per length. So that means I've done 48. Okay, I have no idea. I'm calling this 48 right here. Okay, that's 48. 49, wherever you are. Take a break after you've reached your number. And we're gonna call, I think that's 50, 48, 49, yeah, that's 51. 52. I'm gonna do 60, I think. 53. 54. Really squeeze that glute when you step together. 2 more for 60, if that's where you are. If you're at 60, go ahead and take a break. I'm gonna take a little break at 60, and then I'm gonna do a longer set on my second set. Now remember, this isn't a competition. Just because I'm doing 60 or 70 or 80 or whatever, just because somebody else is doing 100 doesn't matter. This is your workshop. And each week, I want you to do 10 more, because before you know it, you will be a different person. Walking lunges are hard as your body is getting used to it. In the first few months of practicing walking lunges, they can be very challenging. It's got an extended eccentric phase, so they can cause muscle soreness. But once your body adapts and you find your rhythm and you find your range of motion, this exercise will heal you. It really will. Make sure that you're keeping your pelvis tucked under slightly, you're pressing into your front heel, and you're going at a nice slow pace. Shall we go for a second set? Let's do it. Counting out your repetitions. I'm going to be a little bit more focused on my repetitions because I need these today and I feel so good. So here's 4. Push into that front heel. There's 12 if you're with me. Here's 20 if you're at 20. Listen, I remember the day when 20 was an accomplishment for me. High five if you just did 20. Here's 24. And we're approaching 30, if that's your number. 2 more. There's 30. High five if that's you. Four more if you're 40. Here's 40. High five if that's you. 2, 3. Almost to 50. 2 more for 50 if that's you. Woo! High five, 50. How about we do 10 more? Or wherever you are. Keep on going if you're doing more. This is about you against you. You doing your best, whatever that is today, however many that is, doesn't matter. Okay, almost there for 60. And there we go. 60 right there, my friends. High five. High five. If you're going for more, go for it. If you want to stick around and do a third set, go for it. This is you and you. Whatever feels right. For those of you guys that did 40, 50, 60 and you're with me, high five, high five, high five. So proud of you. Tell me what you did. Share in the comments below. How did it go? How many did you do today? What's your number? I would love to know. But first, I need my spectacles. Otherwise, I can't see a thing. Okay, questions, comments. Talk to me. I need to see our chat box here on. Okay. And George, 2 sets of 60. Good for you, my friend. Aaron did, Emmy 200. Fran Bass 180. Woohoo. Oh my goodness. Aaron 100 in total. Woohoo. High five, guys. Is that like, don't you feel like such a badass? Like, doing 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, like, it just feels so badass when you're like adding to those numbers. So again, it doesn't matter where you are, it's the accomplishment, and it's also the progressive overload that I always talk about. I just want you to do 10 more next weekend with me. Now, this coming week, it's helpful to do a maintenance set. So if you did 100 today, you could do 100 again, maybe on Tuesday and Thursday this week, or you could do like 60 Tuesday, 60 Thursday, and then you'll do 110 on Saturday or 120 on Saturday, whatever it may be, as long as you're doing a little bit more each week. So happy for you guys. Judy Tate, I was able to do 3 sets today for the first time. That's so exciting. Good for you. That's a big deal. See? And that's what it's about. It's like, as you guys are doing these, at first they seem so hard and you're like, I could never do 100. But if you just keep adding those 10 repetitions, that progressive overload, if you keep challenging yourself 20% harder today, it catches up. And then next week you're able to do the 20% harder. So you do a new 20% harder. That's what progressive overload is all about. Any questions, any comments? Feel free to post your questions in the chat box, or if you would like, you can raise your hand or just unmute yourself and talk to me if you prefer. Jane Erickson, 2 sets of 55. Leslie, 90 in the first. Okay, 90 in total. First, we sticking around for lunch workshop. Oh, that's amazing, Leslie. Good job. 90 in total. Leslie, that's awesome. I'm so glad you stuck around because it will be so good for you. So good for you. Althea, good to see you here. Joanne, 150. I have to admit, I laid down for a good morning stretch while you did the last 30. That's good, Erin. I love it. Althea, I did 2 sets of 30. High five. Terry, 2 sets of 90. Linda, 2 sets of 60. Heart rate 117. Linda, that's a good, really good heart rate. I don't know what your age is, but anything below 120 while you're doing walking lunges is generally pretty good, because you do want to keep your heart rate a little lower during our walking lunges. Good job, guys. So proud of all of you. Robin Stevens, 150. Kathy Connors, a set of 40 and a set of 20. I had a sore spot on the leg, but it was okay. Also, I heard you on the tricep extensions. They were better with the shoulders back and down. Yeah, totally. Good. I'm so glad. I know, Erin, I had missed you. So good to have you back. Soccer mom, so good to have you back. Jane Colnane, so good to have the support of the group. Leslie, question. Yeah, do you want to, Leslie, you can either post it in the comments, or if you want to unmute yourself, go ahead and unmute yourself and let's talk. Anne Marie, 80 and 100, did 2 sets of 50 on Tuesday and Thursday. Good job. Good job. Good job. Ah, so good. Hi.
Hi, Holly. Question.
Hi, how are you? Yeah.
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good.
Good. Looks beautiful where you are. My question is about push-ups. So I usually do a chest fly when you do push-ups, but today I thought I'm going to try the push-up. Just because I have kind of a wonky shoulder and that, and I don't want to aggravate it. So I tried it today, but I'm not feeling it in my shoulder. I feel it in my elbow, and I feel it like the tendons in my elbow feel like it puts pressure on the elbow.
Okay. So on a scale from 1 to 10, pressure on the elbow. 1 is nothing, 10 is like, "Ooh, I'm scared of it." Where are you on the 1 to 10? 4,
5.
5? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
5.
So here's the deal. Push-ups, right, do put a unique kind of pressure on the elbow. To some degree, that's good pressure. To some degree, it's possible. It's just your body is adapting. You haven't been doing these, right? On a fly, there's no elbow flexion on a fly. So part of why I teach lift up first is to so if you guys can imagine me laying on the ground and I teach you to lift your shoulders first, it decreases the angle and the difference between the elbow and the shoulder to protect the elbow and to protect the shoulder. But there still is a great angle here on the elbow. So some of that elbow pushing, it could just be some pressure that your elbow has to learn and adapt to. One change you can make is to take your hands slightly wider. So it's possible if your hands are too narrow, you're going to have more of an angle on the elbow than if you opened up your hands a little bit. So try opening your hands a little wider, probably about here. Okay, because then you can see that angle on the elbow isn't quite as great. So that's
Okay.
a first option. Second option is just do a few, do like 10, take a break, 10, take a break, and then let's see how you feel the next time you do it. I know your fitness level. I know where you guys are. You guys, I know Leslie pretty well. She's been in a couple of my programs. So my guess with you is that this is a function of adaptation and your elbow is just like, whoa, this is new pressure we haven't done before. Be cautious, be careful, make this change, do fewer reps, let your body adapt, and let's see where you are. Okay. And if it gets to be above a 4 or a 5, let's not do it until I maybe troubleshoot you a little bit more. But if it's like a 4 or 5, generally that's just the body being like, ooh, this is new pressure. Those muscles and those ligaments have to become familiarized with the movement.
Okay, sounds good, Holly. Thank you.
Okay, keep me posted.
Will do.
Other questions? Althea, Holly, are your tank tops still available? Isn't it so great? You guys, I love this tank top so much. Can you tell? I wear it all the time. I wear it for all my live workouts now. I realized it this morning that it's kind of like become my uniform. You guys are going to get so sick of seeing me in this, but it's kind of fun. And did you notice my Halloween kind of orange and kind of black? Okay, so Althea, guys, here's the deal. Tank tops are special order only. I will do another run of special order tank tops probably around the holidays. But Althea, I have 1 or 2 left in stock, but I think my black ones, I only have larges left in black. And I think in the white, I think I've got a medium and a large in white. So Althea, I don't know what size you are, but if you're a medium or a large, send me an email. And when I get back to Pennsylvania, I'll tell you exactly what I have. I'm pretty sure I've got 2 large in black, and I'm pretty sure I have a medium and a large in white, but I'm not totally positive. So if you're cool with a large in black, I can ship it to you. Otherwise, we can wait until the holiday special orders in December. So for those of you guys, and anybody else who wants more or who didn't get any, just let me know. Okay, Althea, send me an email, holly@hollyperkins.com, and I'll take care of you when I get back to PA, because that's where these are. I'm in Texas, or I'm in Tennessee right now. I'll be back in PA and I can ship you from there. Just email me and I'll make sure that you get one. And if you guys are large, if you guys are mediums, the large still fits great. I think I'm a small, but I think this is a medium that I'm wearing because I like them. I personally like them a little on the big side, but I will also be doing a special order in probably closer to the holidays, like around Christmas time. Okay. Other questions, as long as we are on push-ups. Jane, should hands be placed next to the armpit? Okay, so let me get my camera back on. Push-ups, guys. If I were laying on the ground, this is how you should be positioned. Okay. So notice that my elbows are below my shoulders. My thumbs are kind of right outside my mid chest line. Okay. There's a downward slope on my upper arm, and my hands are just inside my elbows. Okay. My hands are not way inside my elbows, My hands are just inside my elbows. And then for Leslie, I'm gonna have her go a little bit wider just to see if that helps on her elbow. Okay, so this is the position right here. So you've got a downward slope. Leslie, your shoulders look awesome. Your arms look really good. Good girl. Downward slope from the elbow, from the shoulder to the elbow. See that downward slope? So my elbows are downward sloped from my shoulders, and my elbows are almost in perfect alignment with my chest. My elbows are actually slightly lower than my chest, technically. And my hands, my thumbs are just outside the middle of my breast line. Okay. You could do your hands a little lower. You could go here, but I don't want you guys up here. This is where we don't want to be. And we also don't want to be like here. Okay. I'll try to shoot a video. I'll try to shoot a video for you guys sometime. And also try to take pictures. Because push-ups, listen, push-ups are really complicated. And those of you guys that have joined me for the comeback or for the glutes project or worked with me one-on-one, I've never programmed push-ups into a program ever. I don't do it because they're so complicated and they're so risky. And like I said, the reason why we're doing this is because of these live at-home workouts where you've got limited equipment. I don't have all of those other options for you in terms of equipment. And if you do them right, they can be helpful if you do them properly. And so it's worth workshopping them. Someday I'll do a proper push-up workshop. That would be a whole lot of fun. Any other final questions? Any other comments? Oh no, Laura, so sorry. I can't believe I missed it. I totally forgot that we have stopped daylight savings time and are not 1 hour less ahead. We actually are. So Laura, we haven't done daylight savings just yet. We were on schedule today as usual at 10:30. I wonder, oh, you're probably not in the US.
I'm in Ireland, Holly.
That's why. Yep, that's right. That's right. I had someone else do that this week. Oh, so sorry. So sad.
No problem. I'll do a video instead. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Yes, and you'll be here next week. Now listen, next week we are on daylight savings time, so I think that means we'll be caught up then by next week. Okay, good. So I did record it today, so this will be up on the page, and today's workout was really, really awesome. So make sure that you check out the page. I'll send you the email tomorrow.
Thank you very much. I'll do last week
from the US. Ah, so glad you were here. Hi to your daughter. Okay, Elizabeth K, I see you. Emmy! Yay! Emmy, I get to see you. Okay, guys, I am going to sign off. So glad to have all of you guys here. We will be here again. I'll be in Nashville again next Saturday. And then I think at the Saturday after that, I think I'm back in Pennsylvania. I'm here for 2 more weeks. So happy Halloween. Please be safe. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys next Saturday, and you will receive an email tomorrow with the link. This workout has been recorded and will be on the page later today or tomorrow, so you can watch it this week. So much love. Bye, guys.